Imagine a corporate world where ambition clashes with entrenched power. What if the person you despised most became your only hope for survival? And what if that hope, eventually, turned into your worst nightmare? Welcome back, cinematic explorers, to a deep dive into The Island Game. Today, we unravel the twisted tale of power, survival, and chilling revenge. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Our story begins in the sterile world of corporate America, as Bradley Preston is introduced as the new company president. He makes his rounds, greeting staff, including Sonia from sales and Sierra from marketing. A seemingly innocuous interaction with Linda Little, a longtime employee, quickly reveals underlying tensions. Linda expresses condolences for Bradley's recently deceased father, who ran the company before him. She fondly recalls his mentorship, subtly hinting at her loyalty and experience. Linda eagerly offers her assistance in leading the company into a prosperous future. Bradley dismisses her with a sarcastic comment about the large shoes he has to fill. Linda, undeterred, makes a self-deprecating joke about her little mule's shoes, implying her ability to carry any load. Later, Bradley complains to his assistant, Franklin, about Linda and her perceived payless orthopedics. He's disgusted by a tuna fish odor, attributing it to Linda. Franklin reveals that Bradley's father had promised Linda a vice president promotion. This promotion would come with a significant increase in both title and salary. Bradley, utterly indifferent, asks if it looks like he cares. He declares that the promotion will go to Donovan, a college fraternity brother. Bradley wants Linda moved to a distant satellite office, stating, "She makes me sick." Franklin warns that Donovan will struggle without Linda's expertise, especially with the upcoming Bangkok merger. Bradley reluctantly agrees to bring Linda on the Bangkok trip to assist Donovan, with plans to ship her out afterward. Linda overhears Donovan and Bradley laughing, confirming her fears about the preferential treatment. Another colleague confirms Donovan's promotion, further crushing Linda's hopes. A distraught Linda confronts Bradley, interrupting a meeting. She pleads for his time, despite his initial reluctance. Bradley, with feigned openness, invites her to sit and discuss the matter. Linda explains her disappointment, highlighting her 7 years of service compared to Donovan's 6 months. Bradley delivers a brutal assessment, acknowledging her savant-like skills with numbers. However, he states that she's not ready for an executive position. He claims he needs someone well-liked, who can charm a room and make a deal. Bradley points out a small speck on her face, a clear attempt to embarrass her. He bluntly tells her, "I just don't think you got it." Despite his condescension, he admits that her confrontation took courage. He then offers her a chance, tackle Appendix D for the Bangkok merger and prove him wrong. Bradley's fiancée, Zuri, arrives, and Linda is introduced. Zuri is presented as Bradley's ideal partner, further highlighting Linda's perceived deficiencies. Before Linda leaves, Bradley brings up complaints about noxious odors, specifically, tuna fish. He condescendingly reminds her that lunch is for the break room, not at her desk. A devastated Linda retreats to the restroom, trying to compose herself with a mantra, "You are enough, just the way you are." On the corporate jet to Bangkok, a boisterous Bradley rallies his team. Linda approaches him, suggesting she found a loophole for Appendix D. Bradley brushes her off, focused on his golf plans. He then reveals a video on his phone, Linda's old audition tape for Survivor. The executives mock her earnest attempts at self-promotion and outdoor skills. Linda's claims of being 10 steps ahead in strategy and dripping with confidence are met with cruel laughter. As the video plays, the plane encounters severe turbulence. A sudden jolt sends the plane spiraling, chaos erupts. Bradley shouts, "Take your seats, if you're AF ****ing pussy," attempting to project bravado. Amidst the screams and prayers, the plane's tail rips off. Linda, in a moment of instinct, grapples with a struggling flight attendant for a seat cushion. She then tries to help Bradley, who is also caught in the terrifying vortex. Bradley violently pushes her away, trying to save himself. Donovan, Bradley's chosen VP, screams Linda's name for help before disappearing into the abyss. The plane crashes into the ocean, leaving few survivors. Linda washes ashore, discovering Bradley, severely injured, beside her. He wakes up, disoriented, learning he's been unconscious for a day and a half. Linda, now in control, provides him with water. She demonstrates her survival skills, successfully starting a fire. Linda offers Bradley some roasted insects, explaining he needs to regain his strength. Bradley recoils, but Linda insists, forcing him to take a baby bite. Days pass, and Linda continues to thrive, even finding a conch, which she gleefully explains is a sea snail. Bradley, still weak, asks how long until rescue. He suggests building a distress signal, frustrated by Linda's lack of focus on escape. Linda retorts that her priority has been food, water, shelter, keeping them alive. She scoffs at his suggestion, questioning his ability to survive alone. When Linda tries to help him stand, Bradley reacts angrily, telling her not to touch him. He attempts to reassert his authority, reminding her, "You work for me." Linda, unfazed, takes her dirty mules, the conch, and walks away, leaving Bradley alone. Bradley realizes she's taken their food, leaving him vulnerable. He tries to act nonchalant, claiming he has got nowhere to be. However, thirst quickly sets in, and he realizes his dire situation. Bradley, dehydrated and desperate, calls out Linda's name. Linda reappears, telling him, "We're not in the office anymore, Bradley." She reveals she found tracks of a boar, a dangerous but potentially life-saving food source. Bradley sarcastically questions if Linda from accounting plans to hunt a boar. Linda corrects him, reminding him of her actual title, strategy, and planning. Bradley tries to justify passing her over for promotion, but Linda cuts him off. She sets a trap, and soon, a wild boar is caught. Linda stalks the injured animal, a primal determination in her eyes. A terrifying confrontation ensues, with Linda bravely facing the boar. She manages to kill it, securing their next meal. Covered in blood and adrenaline, Linda whispers, "I think I like it." That night, they feast, Bradley declaring it the greatest meat I have ever tasted. Linda, with a wry smile, points out her new role as the provider, bringing home the bacon. She then taunts him, "Who's the bacon now?" Weeks pass, and Linda maintains control, finding new water sources and crafting a backpack. Bradley returns, still complaining, missing the luxuries of his old life. He questions why they haven't been found, his patience wearing thin. Linda, surprisingly, emphasizes the importance of a positive attitude for survival. Bradley explodes, demanding they build a raft and actively seek rescue. Linda dismisses the idea as a last resort, preferring to stay the course. Bradley bitterly asks if she's taken good care of him, highlighting his sun-damaged skin. Linda points out that ironically, he's thriving in this new environment. Bradley tries to assert dominance again, declaring, "You work for me." He reminds her of his CEO status in the company his father built. Linda, in a moment of defiance, fires him. She declares her independence, stating she'll go wherever the I wanna go. Linda decides to build her own camp, leaving Bradley to struggle alone. Bradley attempts to build a help signal, but his efforts are pathetic. He becomes delirious, eating raw insects, a stark contrast to Linda's survival skills. His health deteriorates, leading to vomiting and desperate pleas. Linda eventually approaches his makeshift shelter, greeting him playfully. Bradley, barely coherent, recognizes her, reminding her of their Christmas party encounter. Linda, looking refreshed, shows him a lavish spread of foraged food. Bradley admits he'd kill for what's on that plate. He offers a desperate apology for his past actions, hoping to rejoin her camp. Bradley expresses remorse, wanting to take back everything I said. He flatters her, claiming the company would be in shambles without her. He praises her appearance, noting she's not even the same person. Bradley admits he gravely underestimated her and was wrong. He humbly asks to come back to her camp and learn from her. Linda feigns hesitation but eventually allows him to join, offering him food. Bradley, overwhelmed, begs and apologizes profusely. Linda mockingly repeats his earlier question, "How above and beyond are you willing to go for me?" She then clarifies she's not like you, but offers him food and water. Bradley gratefully devours the food, his dependency on Linda solidified. As Bradley's leg heals, Linda takes him on rehab walks around the island. She points out treacherous areas, subtly implying her knowledge and control. She shows him a spot where no ships have passed for days. Linda teaches him foraging tips, including how to identify poisonous berries. She warns him about poison vines on the south side of the island. During one walk, Bradley slips, and Linda catches him. He thanks her, admitting, "I owed you one." Linda finds green bananas, explaining how to ripen them. She then reveals she's made pruno, or toilet wine, from fermented fruit. They share the drink, and the alcohol loosens their tongues. Linda explains her pet bird is named Sweetie. She reveals she was married for 10 years, but her husband died in a car accident. Linda describes him as not very nice and unable to love. Bradley opens up about his own abusive mother and absent father, referencing the saying, "Monsters aren't born, they're created." Linda calls him a monster, but then reassures him it's not your fault. Linda then confesses that she enabled her drunken husband's fatal car crash by giving him his keys. She shares this dark secret, admitting she's never told anyone that. A storm approaches, and they take shelter in a cave. Linda tells a shivering Bradley to take off his clothes for body heat. They huddle together for warmth, a strange intimacy growing between them. The next morning, Bradley tells Linda his camp was washed away by the storm. Linda reminds him of his own words, "Prove me wrong," suggesting he can rebuild. Bradley plans to trek to the high ridge, and Linda reminds him about the poison vines. Bradley thanks Linda for all the things you've taught me out here. He expresses that his time with her wasn't wasted. Linda offers to make him dinner, a seemingly kind gesture. That evening, Linda prepares an elaborate meal, mango salsa and smoked barramundi. Bradley notes her cooking skills, contrasting them with his old life of ordering out. He asks if she misses Zuri, his fiancée. Suddenly, Bradley feels dizzy and collapses. He realizes Linda has poisoned him, screaming, "F*************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************�e Bradley, weakened, says, "I believe you." Linda admits she tasted something bitter in the fruit but ignored it, hoping to trust him. She then begins to lecture him about his stupid inability to handle being submissive. Linda attributes his struggles to him being a slave to your biology. She reveals she's given him neurotoxins from a blue-ringed octopus. The toxins will leave him paralyzed but conscious, unable to move or feel anything. Linda recounts a story about her disobedient childhood dog that needed to be fixed. She chillingly explains how ancient Egyptians fixed slaves to make them more obedient. Linda tells Bradley to accept his fate, no help is coming. He is now stuck at the low end of the totem pole, just like she was. She promises to be a much nicer boss than he ever was, except for maybe this part. Linda performs a gruesome act of castration on Bradley, telling him, "Don't be a baby." She assures him he won't miss this stuff. A rat appears, and Linda brutally kills it, warning Bradley, next time it won't be a rat. She adds, "Don't ever mistake my kindness for weakness." Days later, Linda cheerfully greets a despondent Bradley. Suddenly, an engine hums in the distance, and Zuri's voice calls out. Zuri, along with a rescuer, has found Linda. Zuri frantically asks about Bradley, expressing relief that he's alive. She explains she hired her own boat when the official search was called off. Zuri begs to see Bradley, but Linda deflects. Linda subtly disarms the rescuer, taking his radio, saying he won't need this. She leads Zuri and the rescuer on a shortcut through the treacherous part of the island. As they navigate, Linda waits for Zuri to be distracted. Zuri and the rescuer fall into the thorn bushes and poison vines, the area Linda had previously warned Bradley about. Linda watches them struggle, making no genuine effort to help. Zuri screams for help, but Linda coldly leaves them to their fate. Linda returns to Bradley, who is still paralyzed, and offers him dinner. Bradley, now able to speak, confronts Linda. You tried to kill me. Zuri, still alive but injured, crawls to the camp, threatening to expose Linda. Zuri screams that Linda is a murderer. Linda ruthlessly finishes her off, silencing her for good. Later, Bradley, horrified, asks Linda where she's been. He directly asks, "Did you kill her?" Linda weaves a fabricated tale of Zuri slipping. Bradley points out the chilling parallel to her husband's accidental death. A physical struggle ensues, with both individuals desperate for control. Bradley attacks Linda, seeking revenge. They brutally fight, both sustaining injuries. Bradley finds Zuri's engagement ring, which contains a hidden key to a nearby luxury villa. He makes his way to the villa, Linda in pursuit. She reminds him, strategy and planning. Linda corners him, now in the luxurious villa, highlighting the civilized comfort of refrigeration. She reveals she got rid of all the knives, except for one hidden away. Linda mocks his earlier question about how things wash up on shore. She confesses she broke into the villa and turned off the security system, creating their perfect isolation. Linda claims she didn't plan any of this, but it just kept happening. She chillingly asks Bradley if he wonders why they were the only ones who made it. Linda, now with a shotgun, expresses sorrow that it had to be this way. Bradley desperately pleads for his life, admitting he was a monster and that he's changed. He declares his love for Linda, calling her the most incredible person I've ever known. Bradley claims she saved him and taught him how to love. He suggests they stay on the island forever, calling it a fairy tale. Linda, seemingly touched, tells him she loves him. They share a twisted laugh, confessing their mutual acts of violence. As Bradley embraces her, he suddenly lunges for the shotgun. The gun is empty, a final cruel deception by Linda. Linda, once again, outmaneuvers him, stating, strategy and planning. The final scene shows Linda Little, a year later, as a celebrated, real-life survivor at a golf invitational. She attributes her survival to the memory of my lost colleagues. Her bestseller is being turned into a movie, and she's writing a self-help book. The book's title reflects her brutal philosophy: no help is coming, so you better start saving yourself. The movie ends with Linda, having completely rewritten her own narrative, now a celebrated figure, forever changed by the island's game. Thank you for joining us on this wild recap of The Island Game. What do you think about Linda's transformation and ultimate triumph? Let me know your theories and favorite moments in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow thriller fans, and subscribe for more mind-bending movie explanations.